I never thought something like this could happen in my own family, never. My cousin and I had grown up together, like siblings, like best friends, like two halves of a whole. Every secret I whispered, every tear I shed, he was there. Always. He knew me, more than anyone ever had. And somehow, slowly, I began to rely on him, not just for comfort, but for something deeper, something dangerous. At first, it was innocent, late-night talks about life, dreams, frustrations. But over time the lines blurred. His voice lingered longer than it should, his touch felt different, electric, forbidden. I told myself it was just closeness, just trust. But deep down, I knew something was shifting. One night, rain pounding against the window, we were alone in his room. Talking, laughing, pretending everything was normal. But that night, everything changed. Words became whispers, whispers became touches, and before I even realized it, we crossed a line I would never take back. Weeks later, the truth hit me like a storm I couldn't escape. I was pregnant. I stared at the test, hands trembling, heart pounding so loud I thought it would burst. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think. I was carrying his child, my cousin's child. The one I trusted most, the one I considered family. The betrayal cut deeper than I could have imagined. I confronted him, trembling, tears streaming, hoping, maybe foolishly, that he would feel something, remorse, guilt, anything. But there was nothing but excuses, empty words, and cold indifference. "It's complicated," he said, almost casually. Complicated. I wanted to scream. My life was shattered. The days that followed were endless, an endless nightmare of fear, shame, and loneliness. I couldn't tell my parents, I couldn't tell anyone. How could I explain that the person I had trusted most had betrayed me in the worst possible way? How could I face the whispers, the judgment, the looks of disappointment that would surely follow? Every day, the life inside me grew, a constant reminder of what had happened. Innocent, yet a product of betrayal. I struggled to decide, could I keep this child? Could I survive the world's judgment? Could I forgive myself, or him? But then, slowly, painfully, I realized something. This was no longer about him. This was about me, and the life I carried. I began seeking help in secret. A counselor, friends I trusted, the few people I knew would understand. Slowly, I reclaimed control, setting boundaries, finding strength, protecting myself and my child. Each day was a battle, physical, emotional, mental. But I refused to let this betrayal define me. As my pregnancy progressed, I felt something strange. Fear, yes, but also hope. The child inside me became my anchor, my reason to survive, my reason to fight. And in that struggle, I discovered a resilience I never knew existed, a courage that refused to let me break. Life had thrown me into chaos, but I chose to rise. Not broken, not defeated, but stronger, wiser, and determined. Determined to create a future where I was the protector of my own happiness. The betrayal would always be part of my story, yes, but it would not be the ending. The ending was mine to write, and I would write it on my own terms. If you want, I can also make an even more cinematic, raw version with internal thoughts, flashbacks, and fully emotional dialogue, which will read like a Netflix-style dramatic story.